I'm Danny Bussub, and this is definitely not the correct way to wear a watch. Today's video, we are going to discuss the camera that keeps zooming in automatically. You stupid follow my face. I should turn that off. I'm sorry, I'm putting on my watch. This is the correct way to wear a watch. Just like this. So in today's video, we're going to discuss some consoles and which consoles I believe are bad, which consoles I think are good. Probably mention a couple of games, and I'm obviously going to trail off, so you never know where I'm going to go. I'm going to have to turn this follow my face crap off. There we go. It's no longer follow on my face. I kind of liked it, but now I kind of don't. I don't like it. Okay. We'll discuss some consoles, starting with Nintendo, because I feel like Nintendo is the only one that ever really releases consoles. They try so hard with their consoles. They release all kinds of new ones all the time. Just like their Nintendo Switch, they change. Cut. 2.5. I don't know why I put it over there. I obviously don't have it, but they're changing the game again, which Nintendo's always been changing the game with consoles. Now, for some reason, other gaming companies kind of don't follow suit. I guess because they're kind of just keeping an eye on Nintendo. Is like, okay, what are they doing now? Do I want to steal this? And so far, they've been right with not stealing it. They've stolen what they needed to steal. Of course, like the motion control thing, which they kind of didn't work out, which kind of did. But they're also let's start with the absolute worst thing Nintendo ever released in terms of consoles or gaming devices or whatever you would call it. It's the Virtual Boy. It's you put on goggles or whatever, and it's like a virtual world, but it's also not, because it's all pixelated. Because it was released in very, very many years ago. I don't know why I put it up behind me again. I keep doing that. It was released a long time ago. It was so terrible that they literally had to quietly, pull it off the shelves, and it just kind of sort of disappeared. It just disappeared. Which I really would love to have a Virtual Boy. Which I know the main thing that everybody complained about was it gives you headaches, it hurts your eyes, and stuff like that. But I would play for maybe a couple of minutes just to see kind of how it is. I would at least not like to just have one, just to know that I have something that not everybody has. But that's irrelevant. All of that's irrelevant. That's pretty much where they start. That's one of the first things they kind of did, and it didn't really work. And so Nintendo was like, oh, let's not. They didn't give up. They weren't like one of those people that are like, oh, well, I've tried it. I'm gonna quit now. They kept going. This is actually turning out to be a little bit of Nintendo kind of thing. They kept trying, and they released more stuff. They released the Game Boy, my favorite handheld gaming device ever. They released Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. They went ham on this Game Boy stuff, and eventually they started with more consoles. We got the Nintendo 64, my favorite console ever. I really need to get an emulator on my computers. My brother was pointing behind me. Hey, that might actually make sense this time. My brother is going to tell me where I can get an emulated Nintendo 64 thing for my computer, and then I can show y'all guys some of the games and then kind of play through them a little bit, and hopefully y'all will enjoy that. Let's see, the Nintendo 64, which was awesome. I really don't know what ended up happening with that. It just kind of sort of faded away. Next thing I know, there's a GameCube. The GameCube which everybody hated the GameCube. I don't know why. It's supposedly one of their worst selling consoles ever, which apparently whoever says that doesn't remember the Virtual Boy. Unless the Virtual Boy did better somehow, which the Virtual Boy wasn't really even around for like 2 years, I don't think. Okay, the GameCube was around, and I really loved the GameCube. I loved how small the little discs were. The controllers were kind of neat. I really kind of like the GameCube. I don't know why everybody hated it. I don't really know what was bad about it. Ours eventually broke. Is it very sad? It eventually broke, and then the games worked on it. Hey, and then the Wii comes out, and then we could play GameCube games again, which was awesome. The Wii, it sounded it sounded interesting, but nobody was really sure about it. And then it kind of came out, and then people were like, "Well, I hate this." I kind of liked it. I mean, the Wii is the console that it had its ups and it had its downs. It had its ups and it had its downs. And hopefully, my editing skills can put words on there. It had its ups and it had its downs. Ups, downs. The downsides were you could literally get tired from these. It could literally make you sore, which it kind of did sometimes because I was crazy with that. The Wii Sports that it came with, I did almost all of them. Even though I don't like sports, I like sports gaming, I guess, better than actual physical sports. I'm not very physically active though, so the Wii was the Wii was kind of a mistake for me because I'm not very physically active. I don't have good stamina or any of that kind of stuff. Okay. Anyway, that's kind of the downside. It wore you out. And another downside is some of the games were absolutely terrible. Which of course you get terrible games with everything. The Game Boy had Drake and Josh, the game, which why? Why was that ever a game? Why would you make that a game? It's one of my it's my favorite sitcom ever, but I don't think it needs to be a game. But anyway, it was a game. That was one of the worst games I've ever played. I did have the game. I don't know where it is. It would be in my closet if I had it, but it's not. I don't have it anymore. I only have like one Game Boy game ever now, which sucks because I don't have my Game Boy anymore neither. I honestly don't know what happened to that one. I wish I did. But anyway, I trailed off. But let's continue. I was talking about the Wii. The Wii had its ups and it had its downs. The downs were some of the games were terrible. A lot of the games were actually terrible, if we're going to be honest here. And the other thing was the fact that it could literally wear you out. I have the Wii sitting right over there. You can't see it because the camera won't point towards it. I would do it, but I don't want you to see all my room. Let's continue. The Wii had its good sides, which were the motion controls, which I thought was kind of cool. But in the end, it was more of a gimmick than anything. We didn't really have. It worked. The motion controls worked with the games, but it was kind of the games weren't anything new, except maybe the Wii Sports, which the Wii Sports was the main thing I played on the Wii, and I ended up with Mario Kart. One Wii game that was probably the best Wii game that I ever had was the Super Mario Land one, which it's hard to know the name. I don't know the name of it. I don't know the name of it because they release a Mario game like every few months. It was the Mario one they released for the Wii. That's all I know. It was the best. It was the best ever. And then they I think the Wii kind of did half good. And now they released the Wii U, and the Wii U did really terrible. And now that we know what the Nintendo Switch is, it kind of the Wii U really looks like a prototype for the Nintendo Switch. Which that's kind of what Nintendo seems to do a lot. Which the Game Boy, you could say the Game Boy was a prototype for the DS, and you could say the DS was a prototype for the 3DS. And you could say the Wii was a prototype for the Wii U, which turned into the Switch eventually. Nintendo kind of seems to do something there. It really does look like they're prototyping the crap out of this, and they just send it on whether it's ready or not. There might be a prototype version of the Nintendo 64, or vice versa, or something like that, where it was the prototype of something. But I can't really. The Nintendo 64 was like my first console ever, so that's part of why I love it so much. continuing on, we got the Wii U now. I never played it. I did play it like a demo at Walmart or whatever. It was kind of fun. It was kind of interesting. But in the end, I never got it, and I wasn't too upset about it. And then they released Super Mario Maker. God, I wanted that game so bad, and when I heard about it, and I was like, "What? Only for Wii U? Oh my God! Why would you do that? I hate that. I hate that you did that. Why only for Wii U?" And I'll tell you why for only Wii U. Because Wii U wasn't selling well, so they were like, "Oh, well, let's release an awesome Mario game and put it only for Wii U, so people buy the console just to get that." Hey, let's also release a bundle for you can get the Wii U and the Super Mario Maker in one package deal. Ah, I almost want a Wii U specifically just for Mario Maker, but I don't think that's gonna work. Hopefully Nintendo Switch gives us a Mario Maker, because I'm definitely going for Nintendo Switch. I'm definitely going for Nintendo Switch. I gotta get that. That's kind of the next console, the Nintendo Switch. Well, I totally skipped the DS and the 3DS or whatever. The 3DS, it had its ups and downs. The 3D wasn't. I mean, it was kind of cool. It was the first. It was really the first game that was like in 3D or whatever, without glasses and everything, which was kind of neat. And the 3D was really cool. And sometimes it kind of hurt my eyes. I'm not really good with 3D. You probably know that from my my 3D Minecraft videos or whatever. I don't wear glasses in those, so that's just like red and blue everywhere. And it's crazy. Red and blue, it doesn't do that though for the 3DS, which is awesome, because you don't even need 3 glasses for it, which that's a good thing about that system. And a bad thing about the system is it still can hurt your eyes. Luckily, you can turn it off. And Nintendo, for some reason, they're like, "Oh well, people are hating this 3D thing. Let's release a 2DS that doesn't have the 3D. You can still play the 3D games on it," which I don't know why they did that, because you can still play those games without the 3D. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? I don't know what Nintendo was even thinking when they did that. But they did it, and it sold. One of the good things about the 3DS was some of the games were really good. They brought Kid Icarus back. They called it Kid Icarus Rising, which I love that game so much. I never played the original one, but once I played Kid Icarus Rising, I want to play the original, but I never did. I don't know where to get it, or what even system it's for, or whatever. That Kid Icarus Rising game, that's pretty sweet game. I would recommend that one. Let's see what else. The DS, it was kind of. The DS was my second favorite handheld gaming device ever. I think because it reminded me so much of the Game Boy. The control is almost exactly the same, and you get 2 screens, and you don't have to have a freaking headlamp attachment to your device to look at it, and it can play your old Game Boy games. So the DS was my second favorite handheld system ever. I honestly don't really have many do I have any complaints about this? Do I? I don't have really any complaints about the DS at all. It was perfect. I mean, in terms of multiplayer, it was awesome too, because you didn't have to have internet. You could literally play with your buddy. Like, they would have to sit kind of close, I guess, but we played it where I'm in my room here, and then all the way across the house, somebody's playing it. It's awesome. Honestly, I have no complaints about the DS. Again, though, they released like Drake and Josh and iCarly the game or whatever for DS. Which why would you do that? Why would that ever be a game? Well, it is a game. I skipped the iCarly one. I don't even know how. Honestly, I don't know how I ended up with the Drake and Josh one, but I was pretty young then, so it's probably something to do with it. Let's see what else. I honestly have no complaints about the DS, so that's probably my favorite. It's like awesome. It's probably the best console I've mentioned in this video. Even best handheld system, of course, that I've mentioned in this video. Even though I still love the Game Boy more. But yeah, I can't think of a single complaint that I have about the DS. Do you have one? Do you have one? You have one? Do you have a complaint? Can you put it in the comments for me? Just drop your comments right there. Okay. If you have any complaints about anything I'm saying, of course, just put it right there. I'll get to you on that. I'm extremely open-minded, so I'll be able to change my own perspective based on what you say and what you can bring to my attention. Because of course I don't know everything. So yeah. Nintendo Switch looks awesome. That's pretty much the last console on this list, except Xbox and PlayStation, which I'll get to. But I'm really excited about the Nintendo Switch. I really am. I think it's gonna be great. The graphics from the trailer looks awesome, which I've never seen good graphics from a Nintendo console, which is one thing to complain about, I suppose. But I don't care about graphics, honestly. If your gameplay and your story or whatever is all that is good too. Okay, so and they're gonna release like some awesome games like Skyrim, which I've never played, which I probably won't play anyway because it's more online. But but that basically promises us that we're going to see all kinds of third-party games and stuff like Skyrim, which is not Nintendo, of course. Moving on, let's go to Xbox. First Xbox, of course. The first Xbox, I literally had every type of Xbox except the Xbox S, the Xbox One S, which is the new one that's out right now. I didn't really see a point in it because I already have my Xbox One. I need to. Oh, anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. I started out with the first Xbox, and it was pretty awesome. I don't think there was many games for it. The graphics weren't the greatest, I guess. It's kind of hard to really remember because I was really young then too. I think the first PlayStation I had was the first PlayStation. Not the first PlayStation. It was like PlayStation 2. I think that was the first PlayStation. I don't know. I didn't have it. My brother had it, and of course, me and my brother have to play it. So we had that one. I had some games for it too. I still have them somewhere, I think. That PlayStation was pretty good in terms of the first Xbox versus the second PlayStation. The second PlayStation wins. In terms of the Xbox 360 versus PlayStation 2, it's kind of at a draw, to be honest. Then they get the PlayStation 3, which I don't think I ever played. Then they have the PlayStation 4 or whatever. Well, did I play PlayStation? Is that the one? I don't know if that's the one we have or not, but it's one of the PlayStation. They all kind of are the same. Honestly, I don't have any of the PlayStation stuff. I just want to make that clear because I honestly can't put too much like what it is in there. So I don't have any of the PlayStation stuff. I did play PlayStation 2, and I did play. I don't know if I played PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4. I don't know. They're all kind of similar in a way. I think I did play the original PlayStation. That was a really long time ago, though. And anyway, I never had any of those consoles. My brother, not the one that I usually play with, but my other brother had it, and I would play on his console with games that I got too. So I can't really say much about PlayStation, but I did play every single Xbox. The first Xbox wasn't the best. Xbox 360 was way better. It actually lasted a really long time. It's still kind of around. Then they released this Xbox One, which is kind of funny because it's actually kind of bigger than the Xbox 360, which is really kind of funny. It looks way cooler, I guess, in terms of how. Well, no, actually, it doesn't. The button looks. Well, no, it doesn't. The button doesn't look better than it. It doesn't look better in any way. The Xbox 360. I need to find a side-by-side image right now. Let's see if I can do that. Okay, I don't know if I did it or not. Did I do it? I don't know because I can't do it in real time, of course. Hopefully my editing skills were able to do that. But as you've seen, there's a side-by-side between the Xbox One and the Xbox 360. The Xbox 360 was way better. And then you put the I don't have this. Put a third image up there for me, the Xbox One S. It looks way better than the Xbox One, but it's still kind of in my opinion, it looks better than the Xbox 360, but only by barely. I love kind of the curve of the Xbox 360, and I love the button that's on there. But I mean, it's in terms it trailed off. This video isn't about what consoles look good. This is about what consoles are good and which consoles are bad. Which the Xbox One S, I haven't played it, and I haven't really. I've only seen images of it. I guarantee you, it's better than the Xbox One. I guarantee it, because it's supposed to have it's 40% smaller. If you don't have an Xbox One yet, and you're like, oh, I wanted to get an Xbox One this year, don't get an Xbox One. Get an Xbox One S. Get an Xbox One S. At the very least, you're getting a smaller console, which is way more powerful. You don't have to deal with that weird little black bar thing that attaches to the side of it. I mean, that thing is terrible. To be honest with you, I kind of hate Xbox. I mean, I don't, but I hate their consoles. I hate the console. I really do. I honestly kind of hate the console. I love the games though. So the games are what makes me buy the consoles, and because almost all the games are pretty cool, like Call of Duty and stuff like that. My other brother, the one I do game with, wants to get a PlayStation, which I'll finally be able to review that one if he does. That's pretty much all the I think that's obviously it's not all the consoles. I think that's all the consoles that I'm able to get to right now. I think I'm at like 20 minutes now. Gosh, all my videos are long. So I think that's gonna do me. Stretch. Yep. Goodbye.